Hollow Creek was a small, isolated town in West Virginia, known for its serene landscapes and dense woods. In January 2024, a family of 4 decided to rent a cabin there for a peaceful winter retreat. The Carter family, Laura, her husband Ethan, and their 2 children, Mia and Daniel, were eager to escape the chaos of city life. The cabin was nestled deep in the woods, far from civilization, with no neighbors in sight. The first day went by uneventfully as they explored the snow-covered surroundings and lit a cozy fire in the hearth. But that night, strange things began to happen. Mia, their 8-year-old daughter, woke up crying, saying she had seen a little boy standing outside her window. Ethan checked, but there were only trees and snow, with no sign of footprints. The next morning, they brushed it off as a child's imagination. However, as the day progressed, Mia became quieter and refused to go near the windows. At sunset, she whispered to her mother, "He's watching us again." Laura shivered but decided not to alarm the others. When night fell, strange sounds echoed through the forest, a soft crying that seemed to come from all directions. Ethan assumed it was an animal, but Laura was unconvinced. Later that night, Daniel, their 12-year-old son, found strange carvings on a tree near the cabin. The symbols were intricate, almost ritualistic, and seemed freshly made. As he showed his parents, a low whistle came from the woods, chilling them to the bone. The final straw came when Ethan woke up at 3 a.m. to find both children missing from their beds. Frantic, he and Laura searched the cabin and found them standing outside, barefoot in the snow, staring at the forest. When they brought the children inside, they claimed they were following the boy, who needed help finding his way home. Terrified, the family packed up and left the cabin before sunrise. Weeks later, Ethan discovered that several families had reported similar experiences at Hollow Creek. Legend has it that a boy had died in those woods decades ago, trying to escape an abusive father, and his spirit now wandered, seeking help. Moral: some places carry the weight of unresolved pain, and ignoring the warnings of the past can lead to chilling encounters. In March 2024, a businessman named Victor checked into a luxury hotel in New York City during a business trip. Victor was a practical man who didn't believe in ghosts or superstitions. When the receptionist hesitated before assigning him room 613, he didn't think much of it. The room was spacious and well-furnished, with a breathtaking view of the city skyline. However, from the moment he entered, Victor felt an unexplainable heaviness in the air. As he unpacked, he noticed a faint odor, like burnt wood, but dismissed it as a minor inconvenience. That night, Victor was awakened by a strange scratching sound coming from the closet. When he opened it, there was nothing inside except his suitcase. The next morning, he joked with the staff about the room being haunted. Their nervous smiles told him there was more to the story than they let on. Later that evening, Victor returned to his room after a long day of meetings. As he settled into bed, the scratching returned, louder this time. When he checked the closet again, he found the walls inside covered in soot-like handprints. Victor decided to sleep with the lights on, but at around 2 a.m., he was jolted awake by the sound of glass shattering. His bathroom mirror had cracked into a spiderweb pattern, with no apparent cause. The crack seemed to form the shape of a face, hollow eyes and a gaping mouth. Shaken, Victor called the front desk and demanded to be moved to another room. The next morning, he learned the chilling history of room 613. In 1973, a fire had broken out in the room, killing a woman who was trapped inside. Guests who stayed in the room reported hearing her cries for help and seeing handprints appear on the walls. Victor left the hotel immediately, vowing never to return. To this day, room 613 is said to remain cursed, with only the bravest, or most foolish, daring to stay there. Moral: some tragedies leave imprints that refuse to fade, serving as eerie reminders of the past. In the summer of 2024, a group of friends set out on a road trip across Arizona. They planned to take scenic backroads to avoid traffic and explore lesser-known attractions. One evening, they came across a dirt road that wasn't on their GPS. The road was lined with tall cacti and stretched endlessly into the horizon. Excited to take an offbeat route, they decided to follow it, hoping it would lead them to a hidden gem. As the sun set, the road grew darker, and their car's headlights seemed to barely pierce the thickening fog. Hours passed, but the road showed no sign of ending, and there were no landmarks or signs in sight. Tension rose as they realized their phones had no signal, and the gas tank was running low. Suddenly, they saw a dim light flickering in the distance. Hoping it was a gas station or a house, they drove toward it, but the light kept moving further away. When they finally stopped the car, they heard whispers coming from the darkness. One of the friends, Rachel, stepped out to investigate despite the others' protests. She vanished into the fog, and moments later, her blood-curdling scream echoed through the night. Panicking, the remaining friends searched for her but found no trace except her scarf, tangled in a cactus. As they got back into the car, the whispers grew louder, almost mocking them. They drove aimlessly until dawn, when the fog lifted and the road suddenly ended at a cliff. There was no sign of Rachel, and the authorities later told them the road they described didn't exist on any maps. To this day, the friends are haunted by the memory of that vanishing road and their lost friend. Moral: the allure of the unknown can be dangerous. Sometimes, what lies beyond is better left undiscovered. These terrifying tales from 2024 remind us that the world is full of unexplained mysteries. The unknown has a way of pulling us in, but it often leaves behind more questions than answers. Whether it's a haunted cabin, a cursed hotel room, or a phantom road, the lesson is clear: tread carefully, for not everything can, or should, be understood.